Energy existed at the birth of creation, when God made the world. He fashioned the sun, an inexhaustible source of clean energy that fed the world's natural cycles, from the clouds that hold the rain to the leaves that trap the tiniest dewdrop. However, as the story unfolded, mankind has impacted our world, and many now live in energy scarcity. But energy is essential, not only for our survival, but also for our flourishing. What, however, does it mean to flourish? What are we saying when we take the gospel out? And what does it mean to live a life of abundance, particularly given that so many in the world today live close to or below the poverty line? To answer these questions, we must begin at creation, when God created the heavens and the earth, a place where he could dwell amongst his creation. And it was a garden. Into this garden, he placed his own image in the form of humanity, with the task of serving and guarding it. It was a picture of true abundance and flourishing, where mankind lived in harmony with God, the world around them, and one another. God's community in God's creation, dwelling with God himself.
Creative Energy exists to unlock sustainable energy for abundant life. That's our motto. And so what that means is we're interested in the whole person. We're not just interested in providing like clean cooking gas or solar energy to a community or to a household, but we're interested in how that energy actually impacts their life and the life of a community. We also exist to support and serve the church in this. The church is embedded within some of the poorest communities around, and they're serving and they're doing incredible stuff within those communities. But often they don't have the technical know-how to serve the communities with renewable energy. And that's where Creative Energy comes in. We provide that technical support, logistical support, everything that a church or a Christian organisation or any organisation needs to get a renewable energy project off the ground and to really serve that community. A really concrete example is a project we're doing with Love Ghana. They're a church planting organisation in Ghana, and we went over there and we spent a couple of days living in their different communities, trying to understand what life was like there and trying to help them design a sustainable energy solution. Not just giving out solar lights to a couple of people that would then, after 3 years, fall into disrepair. We wanted to build a solution that was appropriate to the needs of the community, and so we worked with them to actually design a solution.
Here in East Africa, the main source of energy for many communities is firewood, which is used for cooking, heating, and lighting. While this has been the way for centuries, increasing populations have put growing pressure on resources, and people must spend several hours a day searching for firewood.
Traditionally here, women are the ones who have to fetch firewood. Most of the men just want to see the food is ready, but they don't ask much on how much time was taken to make the food. So this is a very big burden to the women and the children. I remember my mom could spend maybe the half of the day just fetching the firewood without doing any other things. So this is a very big problem. But also when we look at the environmental side of it, there is a lot of cutting of trees. We are experiencing here, like in our area, that there is a very massive erosion. The land is very degraded.
The burning of firewood also causes respiratory disease and eye problems, with the World Health Organization estimating that a staggering 4 million people a year die prematurely of illnesses attributable to household air pollution. Creative Energy have been working with ECHO in Tanzania since 2015, training local technicians in the design and construction of biogas digesters. Biogas is a type of biofuel that is produced when organic materials such as dung and food scraps decompose in an environment absent of oxygen. The process is quite simple. Organic waste is fed into the digester where it decomposes. The resulting gas is methane-rich and can be burnt for cooking or heating, while the bioslurry that is produced as a byproduct is nutrient-rich and can be used as an effective natural fertilizer.
Ninaweza kusema kwa sababu biogas imekuwa muhimu sana katika familia kuliko kuni, kwa sababu ni chombo ambacho kinarahisisha mapishi. kwa haraka sana. Na nyingine ni biogas ni nzuri kwa sababu kweli hauwezi ukaona moshi na ina kichocheo fulani ya usafi. Niseme hivi kwamba
biogas has solved many problems to our farmers. They save a lot of time. And also the issue of students, pupils going to school in the morning. Some of the families could not make the breakfast because of the lack of energy, but now they do, and the children are going after eating the breakfast.
Biogas has helped communities reduce their dependence on firewood, improving respiratory health and freeing up more time previously spent collecting fuel. But ECHO have found another way to further benefit families by introducing chaya, a fast-growing perennial plant that is extremely high in calcium, protein, and vitamin A. Chaya fits seamlessly into the biogas system, not only because it responds extremely well to the bioslurry fertilizer, but because it is so nutritious for eating. Those nutrients are then reincorporated into the nutrient cycle via human waste and food scraps that are fed into the digester to again produce biogas and bioslurry. This highlights not only the elegance and efficiency of nature, but also hints at how human beings and the natural world can both flourish when they exist in harmony with one another. If the gospel begins at creation, then this too is part of that good news, that abundant life that Christians pass on to the world.
Here in East Africa, tribes in East Africa, they have a very common culture. If my house make the fire starting to cook in the evening, then the next house, when they see smoke, they don't need to light the matchbox again and making the fire. They just send a child to the neighbor, and the child can take some fuel, the fire, maybe by using the firewood, and coming to his house to make the fire. They don't make the fire, they just take part of the fire from the neighbor. So this is the kind of relationship that the families have here in Africa. So likewise in the chaya, when the families get the chaya cuttings, they grow, and the good thing is that the chaya grows very fast, and they give cuttings to the neighbor. And when the cuttings go to the neighbor also gave to another neighbor. So this has been a very good experience, and that is why we have linked it with the biogas, that after the biogas trainees, they receive cuttings, and everybody go home with the cuttings, hoping that they will give also to the neighbors, and neighbors, they will give to the other neighbors. So that is how we do it.
One family who received a chaya cutting after taking part in the biogas training was Pastor Julius. After constructing a digester, Julius and his wife have completely transformed their kitchen from a place covered in soot into a clean and welcoming environment. But apart from the health benefits that this has brought, there has been another unexpected outcome.
Alafu kingine nilichoona uzuri wa biogas ni nzuri, maana hata mimi na baba tunaweza tukakaa jikoni, kwa sababu zamani hatukuwa tunaweza kukaa wote jikoni, sababu hali ya hewa ya moshi. Wa baba tunajua hawapendi mambo ya jikoni, lakini sasa tunaweza tukakaa na baba jikoni na kupika hapa, tunazungumza na yeye.
Yeah.
Sio zamani, ni hata sasa. Jibu ni kwamba sio zamani, hata sasa wababa hawapendi kukaa jikoni, ni kwa sababu ya mazingira. Napozungumza mazingira, unakuta jiko ni la moshi. Sasa baba anapokuwa jikoni na watoto, ile moshi inapowapenya machoni, kwa kawaida macho hutoa machozi. Sasa ile hali ya baba kupanguza macho hivi, watoto wanaweza wakaona kwamba baba analia, na ni kama aibu fulani. Kwa sababu hiyo basi asitoe machozi na asionekane analia, asikae jikoni.
When we talk about biogas in the UK, We often talk about the technical benefits of biogas, things that you can measure and things you can do experiments on, like engineering benefits. But I was so moved by the story because it was totally unexpected. When we asked the mama, like, why was this? What were the benefits of biogas? She didn't talk about those first. What she started to talk about was the impact on her marriage, and so she was spending more time with her community, more time with her husband, and all of this has led to like a better relationship. And so somehow there's a mystery going on here. Somehow it's not that the biogas hasn't made the relationship better, but somehow the biogas has provided this fertile ground for the gospel to work and for stuff to change in their lives for the better, and for this much more abundant life, this much more full life, to begin to grow and flourish. By providing clean energy, we want to see everyone live a life full of joy, living in harmony with one another, with creation and with Creator. This means not only providing access to clean energy sources, but also considering how such energy can be used sustainably for abundance in all areas of life, the home, education and livelihoods, and even bringing people together.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, a place where he could dwell amongst his creation. And it was a garden. Into this garden he placed his own image in the form of humanity, with the task of serving and guarding it. It was a picture of true abundance and flourishing. God's community in God's creation, dwelling with God himself. Could there be a way that we were meant to live? Could there be a way of being that is in harmony with the Creator and the creation, instead of setting itself in opposition? An atoned community, finally able to fulfill that which they were always made to be. God's community in God's creation, dwelling with God himself. Life, and life in abundance.